Distinguished participants, colleagues, and partners, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kevin Casas Zamora, the Secretary General of International IDEA, and I'm very pleased to be speaking with you during this dialogue on male engagement for gender equality. This dialogue is being organized in the framework of the Women and Youth Democratic Engagement Women's Leadership Initiative, funded by the European Union and which International IDEA implements in partnership with UN Women, the Inter-Parliamentary Union, and United Cities and Local Governments. Our institute is honored to be a partner in this initiative. This year, as International IDEA celebrates our 30th anniversary, we have redoubled our commitment to democratic inclusion, to supporting democracy for all. This commitment is essential at a time when democracy worldwide is under growing strain. One especially troubling threat to democracy today is a growing backlash against gender equality and women's participation and representation in politics, leadership, and decision-making at all levels. Progress in these areas has been too slow, but it has been steady. Now the forces of regression are pushing back. We must not let them succeed. That's what this dialogue is all about. While I wish I could be with you in person today, I am grateful for the opportunity to share this message. In what's left of my brief remarks, I want to do two things. First, I'll reflect on the global context of gender equality, particularly in relation to political participation and representation. And second, I'll highlight why engaging men and boys is essential for sustainable progress towards women's empowerment. Despite notable gains, gender inequality in political leadership and public life remains a persistent challenge around the world. Women continue to be underrepresented in parliaments, cabinets, local governments, and party leadership. We're still a long way from equality. Today, women hold less than a third of parliamentary seats globally, and in many places, much less. According to our partners at UN Women, at the current rate of progress, it will take nearly 40 years to close the gap between women and men in national parliaments, and some 130 years before we see parity in executive leadership. These pervasive inequalities are rooted in social norms. Patriarchal attitudes are still widely prevalent. Too many people believe that men make better political leaders than women, despite the complete lack of evidence to sustain this belief. Equality is not just a moral issue. To be sure, it is a question of justice, a democratic imperative of fairness and inclusion. But it's also about obtaining better outcomes for everyone. And this brings me to the second part of my remarks about the need to engage men and boys in the struggle for equality. Patriarchal systems harm everyone. While women and girls bear the brunt in terms of violence and discrimination, men too are confined by rigid expectations of masculinity. Such norms prioritize dominance over empathy, pressuring men to conform to narrow definitions of strength in ways that damage those around them as well as their own prospects and well-being. In the end, no one thrives in a system built on inequality. And no society can meet its full potential when half of its people and half of its talent are held back. Thus, men must be engaged in efforts to advance equality, both because men still hold most roles of public leadership and because it's in the interest of men themselves. We cannot achieve real and lasting change unless men are meaningfully engaged. So, what does this look like? Above all, it means that men must move from being passive bystanders to become active allies and agents of transformation. This is not easy. It takes reflection, humility, and courage to examine one's own identity and privilege. It means men challenging the narrative that leadership belongs to men and working with women to transform political institutions to be more inclusive. It means men calling out the perpetrators of gender-based violence and discrimination and working with women to make politics a safer space for all. It means men recognizing that they are both stakeholders and beneficiaries of equal and inclusive democracies. That's what we're gathered here to support. This dialogue is an opportunity to reflect, to listen, and to challenge ourselves and each other. This conversation is a chance to reconsider what leadership looks like and to reimagine masculinity in ways that are inclusive, respectful, and rooted in shared human dignity. This event is a springboard towards ensuring that men in political parties, parliaments, local councils, the media, and communities are not only aware of gender inequalities, but are actively working to dismantle them. To reflect the full diversity of our societies and to achieve the full potential of our democracies, we must open doors that have been closed for too long. We cannot wait for the doors to open themselves. We cannot wait for others to do it. We must live out the words of the great Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Africa's first elected woman president. And I quote here, "The future belongs to us because we have taken charge of it." End of quote. My friends, gender equality is a key to the future we want. It is central to the sustainable and inclusive development of democracies and societies. I hope this dialogue offers productive and open exchanges that forge new partnerships, inspire new commitments, and lay the groundwork for lasting change. And I hope that the conversations here will be followed with concrete actions in your institutions, your communities, and your everyday lives. That's how we will take charge of our future, together. Thank you all again for taking a seat in this room and for taking a stand for equality and for democracy, a democracy for all.